Israel Adesanya is back. February 1st, Saudi Arabia against up-and-comer, rising contender, Nasruddin Imavov. This is Israel Adesanya's first non-title fight since 2019, which is actually insane. Ever since this guy's been in 13 straight freaking title fights. Am I getting that right? Hold on, I got a Sherdog tab on the other side. Let me just go check. I was saving that for a later point in the video, but since 2019, Anderson Silva non-title fight, then Kelvin Gastelum title fight, Yoel title fight. Let me just count it down in order. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So if I didn't count wrong, 12 straight title fights since 2019. That is insane. This is an Israel Adesanya non-title fight, and Israel Adesanya is a non-champion going into this fight, which honestly to me it's kind of crazy that Israel Adesanya is not the champion. I mean, I understand that's the cycle of the sport. That's the nature of the beast. That's how the game works. You can't stay on top forever. You can't be champ forever. Israel Adesanya had a good dominant run. He had about 5 defenses of the title: Yoel, Costa, Vittori, Whitaker, Cannonier, before it all ended with Alex. But then he regained it from Alex. And ever since, and this is what makes the sport so crazy, because this guy has a win over Alex Pereira, which aged like wine. And I mean, since then, Izzy's been doing terrible. Alex has been doing great. Kind of funny how that works. Almost like Izzy's the villain of the story and Alex, the hero, is getting the better ending. I mean, I hope Izzy can bounce back and get a win finally, but I did not see Israel Adesanya losing after he beat Alex Pereira. I didn't say he would never lose a fight again, but I didn't think that he would be on this decline. Israel Adesanya's downfall, I don't know about y'all, but for me, it was the most unexpected downfall ever. Because you beat Alex Pereira, that's no joke. You become a 2-time champ in the middleweight division. That's never happened before Izzy did it. Again, no joke. Izzy made history, being the first and only man to ever put Alex out cold. Alex has been TKO, but not put out cold. First man to beat him in the UFC, only man to beat him in the UFC, the first 2-time middleweight champion. And middleweight is such a weak division, lacking in talent. Israel Adesanya, clearly on paper, seemed like, outside of Poatan and Whitaker, clearly one of the most talented guys, elite guys in the division. So I thought that we were going to see another Israel Adesanya dominant title reign. If you would have told me after he KO'd Alex that he's going to lose his next fight to Sean Strickland and then his next fight after that to Dricus du Plessis, I would have laughed in your face. I thought Israel Adesanya, his next 2 fights that were against Strickland and du Plessis, I thought these would be title defenses. As soon as Dricus du Plessis couldn't fight at 293 against Izzy, I'm like, all right, Adesanya's going to beat Sean Strickland as a warm-up title defense to prepare him for a tougher fight in DDP. Turned out both fights were tough, but I thought, okay, he'll beat Sean, and then he'll beat Dricus, and he'll have 2 defenses of his belt after regaining it from Alex. And then I thought after that we'd start looking at Izzy maybe returning to the 205 division, which that would have been cool. If Israel Adesanya could have actually beaten Strickland and du Plessis and been on the winning end of his career, and then we could see Pereira versus Adesanya 3 for the light heavyweight title, how insane of a story would that be? It's kind of sad that kind of couldn't happen and it had to get spoiled. But yeah, this could arguably be an Israel Adesanya title defense right now in a pay-per-view, but that's the name of the game. Israel Adesanya has been on top for so long. He is declining. I hate when that thing pops up on the screen when I'm making these videos. His best days are not ahead of him. Let's just say that. He's 35 years old, and Imavov is he's young, man. He's young, late 20s, early 30s, and he's getting better fight by fight. So I do think Imavov does have a very good chance to win this fight against Israel Adesanya. I want to pull up Imavov's record. Imavov right now is on a 3-fight win streak. His last loss was to Sean Strickland, who beat Israel Adesanya. He could be on a 4-fight win streak, but he headbutted Chris Curtis, so that's why it's 3 fights in a row, because this one was a no contest. Can you fuck off, man? I'm not updating anything right now. Anyway, he's 29 years old, 15-4, good record. 6 fights by knockout, 4 wins by sub, 5 by decision. Well, let's just get this out of the way. He's not knocking out Israel Adesanya. He's not submitting Israel Adesanya either. I know that DDP subbed him. I know Alex knocked him out. I know Sean dropped him. But nah, he doesn't have the level of wrestling or, submission ability of a Dricus du Plessis. Doesn't have the same level of precision in his boxing or as good of boxing as Strickland, because Sean literally outboxed him in that fight. So I can't really say he has a boxing advantage over Izzy. I can't even say that he has an overall striking advantage over Israel Adesanya as well. And I mean, Imavov does have grappling in his fights. He can clinch well. His takedowns are pretty good. But Israel Adesanya has decent takedown defense. In some fights, he has shown an ability to defend takedowns and get back to his feet. So if Imavov does choose to try and mix in takedowns, I think Adesanya should be able to defend them. And in the striking, I think Israel Adesanya should be a step ahead. Now, I know Izzy's striking is a little bit predictable nowadays. People have kind of figured out, the jab 1-2 leg kick that he does in every single fight. Either that or it's like an arch back. He arches back and then tries to counter with that check hook. Sean figured that out, timed that, countered him down the middle. Maybe Imavov will be able to figure out that lean back counter that Izzy does, and maybe he'll be able to counter that counter, not fall into that counter. But I don't know, man. I just feel like this fight all comes down to the last style bender, Israel Adesanya. Where is Izzy at in this fight? Where is his head at? Where is his mind and body at in this fight? Because if Israel Adesanya, if he's really done, if his last 2 losses really mean that he's done as a fighter, Imavov might win this fight. But Israel Adesanya, I will say in that Dricus du Plessis fight, Adesanya looked half decent. Like, he looked way better than what he looked against Sean Strickland. Now, you could argue styles make fights. Sean's style kind of shut down Izzy's game. DDP being a little more wild and sloppy allowed for Izzy's striking to look better. That could be true. But I really feel like the version of Izzy who fought DDP was better. He was in better physical conditioning. He was in better shape. He looked bigger. He looked faster. He looked sharper. DDP just has plot armor. It's like this guy just can't lose, no matter how shitty he may seem, no matter how technically deficient he is compared to his opponent. He always just pulls in clutch and ends up winning regardless. And that's why Izzy lost ultimately. But I feel like the version of Adesanya we saw at UFC 305 might be able to beat Sean Strickland. Like, if Izzy was as locked in at 293, and as in good shape at 293, and as prepared at 293 as he was at 305, he may have beaten Sean Strickland. What I expected to happen, him having a defense over Sean, preparing him, warming him up for DDP, that may have happened. If he was in the shape and conditioning he was in against DDP against Sean, this may sound like Cope as an Izzy fanboy, I think he beat Sean Strickland. So, I mean, if we see the same Izzy we saw last time and not against Sean, I think the Izzy he didn't beat Dricus, but the Izzy who put up a really good effort against Dricus du Plessis before he got overwhelmed and mentally checked out, I think that version of Izzy we saw against Dricus could potentially bounce back here with Nasruddin Imavov. And also, I want to note that Imavov was kind of struggling in the stand-up against Brendan Allen. Allen was landing good shots. What mainly hurt Brendan Allen in that fight was going for takedowns that weren't going to get completed, getting stuffed into the canvas, and then Imavov stacking on top of him. Imavov engaging in the grappling and kind of beating him at his own game. But if Brendan Allen is able to pop off good shots at you, imagine Israel Adesanya. So like I said, it all comes down to Izzy, But I mean, the fact that Israel Adesanya is taking this fight with Imavov and he's not looking for a big fight or a fight on a pay-per-view, this just shows that we might be seeing a motivated Israel Adesanya who's hungry to get back in title contention in the middleweight division. He might want that Dricus rematch. I know he wants that Strickland rematch. I know he's going to want the winner of Strickland versus DDP too. I know he's not going to get it because that's reserved for Khamzat, but the point still remains. So I don't really have an official prediction because, again, unpredictable sport. Izzy might be cooked. He might be cooked. This might not be the same Izzy that we saw knock out Poatan like a year and a half ago, which is insane. A year and 6 months ago, this dude knocked out Alex Pereira. And I never would have expected him to go on a 2-fight losing streak after. And it'll be crazier if he loses this fight. Goes from knocking out Alex, then losing to Sean, DDP, and Imavov. 3 guys who I thought Izzy should have been able to beat. Guys who I never would have saw being on Izzy's level. Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, to me, it seems like Izzy used up the last of his prime to knock out Poatan. It's like he sold his soul to the devil to beat Alex, and then the deal was you beat Alex, you can't beat anyone else. You beat him that one time, and that's it for your career. But yeah, we'll see. Looking forward to this fight. And then we also got Shara Magomedov versus Michael Venom Page. Interesting fight. MVP taking a fight in the middleweight division. So then what happens if MVP wins? Does Michael Venom Page stay at middleweight? Because he'll take Magomedov's 14th ranking. Does he just fight in 2 divisions? I don't know. But good fight, good striker's delight. But I was mainly here to talk about Israel Adesanya. I hope my boy Izzy can come back, get a bounce back win. I need to see Izzy get a win in Big 25. I cannot see this guy go on a 3-fight L streak. And I don't know, Izzy doesn't strike me as the type of guy to just give up 3 fights in a row like that. It's Israel Adesanya. He has to get his shit together, and he has to win this fight. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Like and subscribe, and peace out.